Enter a world where vintage glamour collides with hidden scandal. In Hollywood's golden era, certain celebrities from classic movies cultivated an image of refinement while harboring dark secrets behind the scenes. Prepare yourself for an eye-opening look at these iconic figures, actors whose on-screen charm masks truly questionable behavior off-camera. From beloved stars to lesser-known personalities, these revelations shine a light on the private dramas that shaped an entire generation of classic Hollywood. Will the truth forever change how you see these legendary performers? Stay tuned. Peter Sellers was a comedic genius whose ability to inhabit characters was unparalleled. Best known for his role as Inspector Clouseau in the Pink Panther series, Sellers made audiences laugh effortlessly. Yet behind the humor was a man haunted by insecurity and eccentricity. Sellers' behavior on set was notoriously unpredictable. Director Blake Edwards, who collaborated with him on multiple films, described the experience as a mix of brilliance and chaos. Sellers believed his erratic antics fueled his creativity, often refusing to follow scripts and causing production delays. His personal life was equally turbulent, marked by volatile relationships, multiple marriages, and a deep-seated loneliness that contradicted his public persona. Sellers' obsession with spiritualism led him to consult psychics regularly and even communicate with his deceased mother, unsettling those around him. His autobiography, The Mask Behind the Mask, painted a picture of a man at war with himself, struggling to separate his real identity from the characters he portrayed. Financial mismanagement and health problems further complicated his later years, forcing him to take roles purely for money. Even his death in 1980 left a trail of unresolved conflicts and controversies. Sellers' legacy is a tragic reminder of how genius often comes at a steep personal cost, leaving fans to admire the laughter while pondering the pain behind it. Henry Fonda was the archetypal American hero, stoic, principled, and relatable. From The Grapes of Wrath to 12 Angry Men, his portrayals of justice and decency resonated deeply with audiences. Off-screen, however, Fonda's life was far more turbulent. Known for his cold demeanor and emotional detachment, Fonda struggled to maintain relationships, leaving his children Jane and Peter feeling abandoned. His personal life was marked by infidelity, with affairs spanning his 5 marriages and romantic liaisons with some of Hollywood's leading ladies. His first wife, Margaret Sullivan, described him as emotionally distant, a sentiment echoed by his children who often felt more like spectators than participants in their father's life. Despite the flaws, Fonda's contributions to cinema remain monumental. The gulf between his on-screen heroism and off-screen imperfections serves as a reminder that even the brightest stars can cast the darkest shadows. His legacy endures, complex, contradictory, and deeply human. Kirk Douglas was a man of contrasts, a revered Hollywood legend with a complex personal life. Born into hardship, Douglas's passion for acting ignited during his high school years, offering an escape from his tumultuous upbringing. Known for his commanding on-screen presence, he played heroes and anti-heroes with equal conviction. However, his off-screen persona was far less admirable. Allegations of mistreatment, including a disturbing claim involving a young Natalie Wood, surfaced after his death, darkening his legacy. Although the incident remains unverified, the claims cast a long shadow, prompting a reassessment of his character. Douglas himself acknowledged being unpopular in Hollywood, a sentiment echoed by his co-star Burt Lancaster, who often joked about his difficult nature. Known for micromanaging directors, he famously dismissed the director of Spartacus after just 1 week. His controlling behavior extended to personal relationships, marked by infidelity and turmoil. Despite his flaws, Douglas's impact on Hollywood is undeniable, leaving a legacy that continues to provoke debate. His autobiography, The Ragman's Son, revealed further insights into his tumultuous life, including admissions of infidelity and strained relationships. Even his philanthropic efforts, though substantial, were sometimes seen as attempts to atone for past actions. Ultimately, Kirk Douglas remains a paradox, an actor whose larger-than-life persona masked a deeply flawed individual. Faye Dunaway's on-screen magnetism was matched only by her off-screen volatility. Renowned for iconic roles in Bonnie and Clyde and Chinatown, Dunaway's career was marred by tales of diva-like behavior and explosive confrontations. Reports of her abrupt exit from the Broadway play Tea at 5 included allegations of physical altercations and a hostile work environment. A former colleague revealed that Dunaway once slapped him for real during a staged scene, shedding light on her intense and unpredictable nature. Broadway wig designer Paul Huntley recounted an incident where Dunaway, displeased with the presentation of hairpins, struck his assistant's hand, a small but telling glimpse into her notorious temperament. Off-screen, rumors of erratic behavior, such as refusing to flush toilets on set, further fueled her reputation as one of Hollywood's most difficult stars. Even legendary actress Bette Davis cited Dunaway as the most challenging person she'd ever worked with. Dunaway's alleged outbursts extended to directors as well, with stories of her throwing objects during disagreements on set. Her autobiography, Looking for Gatsby, offered little to dispel the image of a temperamental star, instead revealing further tensions with co-stars and directors. Despite the controversies, Dunaway's undeniable talent and unforgettable performances have secured her a place in Hollywood history, leaving fans to reconcile her brilliance with her dark reputation. Orson Welles was a genius, no doubt, a visionary director who redefined cinema with Citizen Kane. Yet behind his creative brilliance lay a man with sharp edges and even sharper words. Private recordings revealed Welles's scathing opinions of fellow actors like Laurence Olivier, whom he called dim-witted, and Spencer Tracy, whom he deemed vindictive. His disdain extended to Hollywood power players and even icons like Bette Davis and Charlie Chaplin, whom he dismissed as haughty. Welles's battle with the studio system was legendary. His refusal to compromise often left him isolated and struggling financially. Despite the acclaim, his projects were frequently marred by budget constraints and production battles. His disdain for Hollywood's superficiality was evident in his support of emerging talents like Marilyn Monroe, whom he tried to champion before her rise to fame. Welles's tumultuous personal life was no less dramatic, marked by failed marriages and rumored affairs that kept the tabloids busy. His autobiography, This Is Orson Welles, revealed a man haunted by insecurity and bitterness over Hollywood's rejection. Even his later years, spent acting in low-budget films to fund his own projects, reflected a tragic irony. One of cinema's greatest minds reduced to scrambling for financing. Welles's legacy remains a mix of genius and hubris, a reminder of how even the brightest stars can burn out too soon. Milton Berle, often dubbed Mr. Television, was a trailblazer who brought comedy to millions during TV's early days. His sharp wit and larger-than-life personality made him a household name, with viewers flocking to their screens every week. However, Berle's behind-the-scenes conduct was far less endearing. Known for his ego and refusal to take direction, he clashed with colleagues frequently. His infamous appearance on Saturday Night Live was a disaster that showcased his worst tendencies, ignoring cues, overacting, and dismissing the show's cast and crew. Lorne Michaels, the show's creator, later described it as one of the most difficult hosting experiences in SNL history. Berle's arrogance extended beyond the studio, where stories of his domineering behavior circulated widely. His autobiography, Milton Berle. An autobiography provided a glimpse into his volatile personality, including feuds with other comedians and tales of his excessive demands. Rumors of womanizing and off-color humor only added to the controversy, making Berle a polarizing figure. Even in his later years, Berle struggled to adapt to a changing entertainment landscape, clinging to outdated jokes and routines. His legacy remains a mix of groundbreaking achievements and personal flaws, leaving fans to reconcile the comedic legend with the man behind the curtain. Mickey Rooney's career spanned 9 decades, transforming him from a beloved child star into a complicated Hollywood figure. On screen, Rooney's charm was irresistible, but behind the scenes, his abrasive demeanor told a different story. Known for being curt and egotistical, he left a trail of strained relationships and controversies. During the filming of National Velvet in 1944, his treatment of a young Elizabeth Taylor was widely criticized, tarnishing his wholesome image. His portrayal of Asian characters in Breakfast at Tiffany's sparked outrage, highlighting the racial insensitivity prevalent in Hollywood's golden age. Rooney's personal life was equally chaotic, marked by numerous marriages, financial woes, and battles with addiction. As he transitioned from child star to adult actor, critics questioned his ability to adapt, casting a shadow over his legacy. Despite his undeniable talent, Rooney's off-screen actions revealed a troubled individual struggling with fame's dark side, leaving behind a legacy that continues to divide fans and critics alike. His memoir, Life is Too Short, offered a candid look at his struggles with substance abuse and financial ruin, painting a portrait of a man desperate to escape his demons. Rooney's relationship with the press was similarly contentious, often lashing out at journalists who dared to question his actions. Even in his later years, stories of unpaid debts and family disputes further complicated the image of one of Hollywood's most enduring stars. Bing Crosby's smooth voice and easy charm made him one of the most beloved entertainers of the 20th century. Hits like White Christmas and his countless film roles cemented his legacy as America's crooner. Yet, behind the scenes, Crosby's family life was anything but harmonious. His son, Gary Crosby, later revealed a childhood marked by distance and control, painting a portrait of a father whose obsession with discipline overshadowed affection. Crosby's strictness stemmed from a fear that his children would fall prey to Hollywood's vices, a fear that ironically contributed to the very estrangement he sought to prevent. His second marriage seemed to soften his demeanor somewhat, but the damage had been done. The deaths of his son Lindsay and the family's struggles with addiction underscored the darker side of Crosby's legacy. His autobiography, Call Me Lucky, offered a glimpse into his conflicted nature, balancing tales of Hollywood glamour with hints of the turmoil at home. Financial success did little to soothe Crosby's inner demons, as he reportedly maintained a tight grip on his family's finances, further straining their relationships. In the end, Crosby's legacy is a blend of timeless music and a deeply flawed personal life, leaving fans to grapple with the stark contrast between the man and the myth. Wallace Beery's on-screen persona as the lovable everyman was a carefully crafted illusion. Behind closed doors, Beery was infamous for his cruelty, particularly toward younger co-stars. Mickey Rooney, who often shared the screen with him, endured harsh treatment yet paradoxically spoke with a mix of fear and admiration for the veteran actor. Gloria Swanson's accounts of Beery's behavior were even more unsettling, describing a man whose actions reflected the darker undercurrents of Hollywood's golden age. Beery's aggressive tendencies weren't limited to his co-stars. Stories from set crews and directors depicted him as manipulative and intimidating. Allegations even suggested Beery's involvement in the mysterious death of comedian Ted Healy, though nothing was ever proven. His autobiography, Wallace Beery, The Good Bad Guy, did little to clear his name, revealing instead a man who thrived on control and intimidation. Financial disputes and battles with studio executives further painted him as a star whose power was matched only by his cruelty. Beery's legacy endures as a stark reminder of the darkness lurking behind Hollywood's golden facade, a world where the most beloved faces often hid the ugliest truths. And that's the countdown of the 10 most notorious actors of Hollywood's golden age. Their stories are a stark reminder that behind every spotlight, there are shadows. Fame, fortune, and talent often come at a high price, revealing a side of stardom that most would rather forget. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Hollywood's past, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories from the dark side of Tinseltown. Until next time.